Last time, we found out what would happen if every team in the NBA had 15 of their current best player, and you guys have been asking for it. A lot of you have been commenting it, so we are bringing it to you guys today. We're going to be seeing what would happen if every NBA team had 15 of the greatest player to ever play for them. So how we picked this player is we went into the NBA 2K19 rosters, went on to all-time teams, and picked the top player from every all-time team and duplicated them 15 times, so every team has 15 of their best players. So we're just going to get right into the roster here, and then we're going to simulate a season and find out who the best player of all time is, who the greatest player of all time is, which team has the best top player. Anyway, starting off with the 76ers, we're going to have Allen Iverson. The Bucks have Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. The Bulls, of course, with Michael Jordan. Cavs, of course, with LeBron James. We could have put him on the Heat or Lakers. I didn't want to put him on the Lakers because he just became a Laker. And the Heat, I mean, he was more of a Cav throughout his career, so I chose the Cavs for him. Celtics is Larry Bird. Clippers is Bob McAdoo. Grizzlies is Pau Gasol. He was just barely over Marc Gasol. Pau Gasol, of course, getting drafted by the Grizzlies. Now, up next is Bob Pettit. Then we got Dwayne Wade for the Heat, Glenn Rice for the Hornets, John Stockton for the Jazz, Oscar Robertson for the Kings, Walt Frazier for the Knicks, Magic Johnson for the Lakers, T-Mac for the Magic, Dirk for the Mavericks, Dr. J for the Nets, David Thompson for the Nuggets, Paul George for the Pacers, Chris Paul for the Pelicans, Isaiah Thomas for the Pistons, Vince Carter for the Raptors, Hakeem for the Rockets, Tim Duncan for the Spurs, Steve Nash for the Suns, Kevin Durant for the Thunder, Kevin Garnett for the Timberwolves, Clyde Drexler for the Trailblazers, Wilt for the Warriors, and last but not least, Elvin Hayes for the Washington Wizards. So a lot of these might actually change in just a little bit of time. I mean, Kawhi Leonard for the Raptors, maybe he'll become the greatest player ever. Depends how long he stays there, of course. I mean, other players, maybe LeBron becomes the greatest Laker ever. But anyways, let's just get right into the season. We're going to simulate a full season with these rosters and see who ends up winning. All right, so we made it through the NBA season. We're going to check out the awards and all NBA teams, even though they don't really matter too much, just because it's 15 players on each team, so there won't really be any standout players. Bob McAdoo gets MVP, though. Walt Frazier gets sixth man, Michael Jordan defensive, and he gets most improved. Doc Rivers gets coach of the year, and that's of course Bob McAdoo's team. They end up going 70-12. We're going to check out all of the standings in a second here. I'm just going to go all over the all NBA teams really quick here. I mean, it doesn't matter too much just because there's no, like, people don't really get their full potential when they're on a team of 15 of their own people. Okay, anyways, let's go over to standings right here. Start off with conference standings. In the West, it's going to be Bob McAdoo with the top team, 70-12. Then it's going to be Wilt Chamberlain, Magic Johnson, Oscar Robertson, Kevin Garnett, Hakeem Olajuwon, and David Thompson, as well as Dirk making playoffs. Tim Duncan didn't make it. Clyde Drexler didn't make it. Pau Gasol. Kevin Durant didn't make it. He's a 99 overall, actually. Chris Paul didn't make it. Steve Nash and John Stockton did not make it in the West. Then going over to the East, let's check out the people that didn't make it first. So Isaiah Thomas with the worst record out of all of the teams here. Then it's going to be Allen Iverson, Dwayne Wade, Paul George, Walt Frazier. We got T-Mac, Glenn Rice. And then moving on to the people that did make it, we got Dr. J, Michael Jordan, LeBron James, Larry Bird, Vince Carter. Okay, I wasn't expecting Vince Carter to do better than LeBron and Michael Jordan. Larry Bird, I mean, I could put him up there with them. Wizards, we got Elvin Hayes. We got some random guy on the Hawks for some reason. I got to take him off the team, but Bob Pettit actually still gets the second best record, even though there's just some random player on the team. I do not know how that happened. We got to get rid of him, but Kareem is the best team in the East, going 59-20. So I took care of the Hawks situation. Now we're just going to go over team stats, though, and check out who did the best in terms of points per game, field goals, three-point percentage, all of that good stuff. So starting off with points per game, it's going to be Bob McAdoo at the top there, Wilt Chamberlain right underneath him, and then you can kind of just check out the top 6 here whenever I do any of these. Look at the team you are looking for. We'll also do the worst. It's going to be Isaiah Thomas. In terms of field goal percentage, Bob McAdoo still at the top there. He didn't shoot threes, though. The best three-point shooter is going to go to Kevin Durant, shooting 45%. There's a lot of players that didn't shoot threes at all, a lot of those centers. Free throw percentage is going to go to Dirk, shooting 92.5%. And then let's go over to rebounds. Next, it's going to be Elvin Hayes pulling the most boards. I thought it was going to be Will Chamberlain up at the top there. Assists is going to go to Oscar Robertson. He has the most of game. Steals is Allen Iverson at the top. And then for blocks per game, it's Hakeem, who averaged over 10 blocks per game. The only person out of any of the teams to do so. So those are the stats, and we're going to hop right into the playoffs now. Leave your comment down below who you think is going to win in the playoffs. Also, who you picked at the beginning of the season. Might be a little bit different now. Okay, so after the first round of playoffs, let's actually check out who all made it through. Let's start off in the East. It's going to be Kareem Abdul-Jabbar beating out Dr. J. And then it's going to be Larry Bird winning against Vince Carter. It's going to be Elvin Hayes beating out LeBron James, so LeBron James is out. And then Bob Pettit beating out Michael Jordan. The two GOATs are out of here. Over in the West, Bob McAdoo beats Dirk. Oscar Robertson beats Kevin Garnett. We got Hakeem beating out Magic Johnson. And then Wilt Chamberlain beating out, who was on the Nuggets? David Thompson. So these are our matchups for our second round. Let's see who's going to move on. Let's see if these top two seeds actually get on to the second round. Let's actually find out here. Oscar Robertson has been eliminated. We got Larry Bird has been eliminated as well. And Elvin Hayes is out. It's the top two seeds in the East. And then Hakeem is out. So it's the top two seeds in the West as well. It looks like everything's playing off on how teams are seeded. We might get two centers in this, or we might not. Let's actually find out right here. Bob McAdoo versus, let's always simulate here. It's going to be Bob Pettit and Bob McAdoo actually winning their first two games. Second game tied up in the East, 2-0 for Bob McAdoo. And now Kareem takes the lead in the East, 2-1 for Bob McAdoo still as well. 2-2 all tied up in both conferences. Let's keep on simulating here. 3-2 for Kareem, 3-2 for Bob McAdoo. Let's see if somebody moves on here. Atlanta Hawks have Kareem ends up moving on, and Wilt Chamberlain is eliminated by Bob McAdoo. So it's going to be Kareem Abdul-Jabbar versus Bob McAdoo in the NBA Finals to find out who the greatest player of all time is. I mean, this was what the test is. Bob McAdoo about to win this up 2-1 right now. Can Kareem tie it up? It is 3-1. Bob can win it all right here. And here we go, game number 5. Bob McAdoo up by 30 points. So he is going to get the W right here. Very surprising. I was not expecting him to win. I could have seen Kareem winning the center position, one of the greatest centers of all time. Probably the best center of all time, actually, Kareem. I'm surprised he did not win. I definitely thought it would have been a center. But Bob McAdoo ends up winning, a huge underdog. And actually, when you do run this simulation multiple times, he does win quite consistently. So Bob McAdoo is 2K's choice for if we made 15 of him, he would be the greatest player of all time. One thing is, too, though, they do have the same hairstyle. I don't know if that played a role in them making the NBA Finals here. You know, they got the sideburns, a little bit of an afro. You can kind of check out how these games would actually play out, just seeing the 15 on 15, all the same player on the court right now. It just looks so weird, though. Also, if you guys want to see any matchups, just maybe a one-game series against two players, definitely leave your comment down below, and I can bring that to you guys. There's Kareem, last chance point. He's going to miss. 29-point win for Bob McAdoo. Let's see who is going to win the NBA Finals MVP. Let me know who you guys think is going to do. Of course, a lot of options. Bob McAdoo, one of the options you could pick, or Bob McAdoo, Bob McAdoo. So here we go. Look at all the Bob McAdoos. I always do that joke asking who's going to win because it's all the same player. But here we go. Bob McAdoo, Finals MVP. He ends up being the greatest player of all time. Let me know what you guys think about this. Do you think other players should have won? I thought a center definitely would have won in these 15 versus 15 games. I thought it was going to be Kareem or Wilt Chamberlain. I thought LeBron also had a great chance of making it in the finals there, because he did do the best when it was current players. Anyways, there we go, guys. If you did end up enjoying the video, don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new. This has been your boy Smequle, and I'll see you next time. Peace.
Never in the same space that we started at. Throw the ball, I run the play like a quarterback. I've been up all night trying to make a stack, trying to get a plaque and flip a dream into a solid fact. Hustled hard for it. One day they will notice. Chasing in the day.